सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति। Yeah, the question is based on what we discussed in the last class as the four paradoxes, the essentials and the non-essentials, the means and the end, means in plural, end in singular. The third one is what should be done, what should not be done, karyam and akaryam. The fourth one is ephemeral and eternal, temporary and permanent. Now the question is essential and non-essential and ephemeral and temporary, aren't they the same? That is the question, correct? They are not the same. They are very different. When we are talking about the temporary and the permanent, we are talking about in the entirety of every, we are talking about the in every experience that we go through, in all experiences that we go through, intellect means it is aware of this fact. It is aware of this fact. What is the fact? What is temporary and what is permanent? This is distinct and different from in an experience, there is something called essential, there is something called non-essential. In an experience, there is something called essential and non-essential. Second is discussing the very experience itself as temporary or permanent. You cannot say the non-essentials are temporary, essential is permanent. That equation should not be made. You follow? It is separate. How is it separate? The essential aspect of education versus the non-essential aspect of education, discussing it vis-a-vis, is it temporary or permanent? It's two different ways of looking at the same situation. You follow? Again, I repeat. The essential aspect of marriage versus the non-essential aspect of marriage is one angle of discussion, vis-a-vis whether it is temporary or permanent. You follow the difference? When we say it is temporary or permanent, we are not discussing, we are not dividing it into essential and non-essential. In essential and non-essential, we are accepting that something is essential in that, something is non-essential in that. Is non-essential impermanent and essential permanent? No. No. At one level of discussion, we talk about it as essential and non-essential. When you go deeper into the discussion, we talk about it as temporary and permanent. Is education essential or non-essential? We are not discussing that. Is education permanent or temporary? We are not discussing that. Are you able to understand? Assuming that there are certain things that has to be done in life, Even in that, at the elementary level itself, intellect isn't functioning in understanding the difference between essential and non-essential. It is accepted that there are certain things. Okay, having taken it for granted that there are certain things that is accepted. In that also, some is essential, some are non-essentials. Intellect, there is no intellect even to understand these two. Vis-a-vis discussing it from a different angle of permanent and temporary. The moment we bring in the discussion of temporary and permanent, essential and non-essential and all has gone out. There is no more essential and non-essential after that. It is only temporary or permanent. You have to understand the grades, how the intellect is growing in all these four. At elementary level, we'll be talking about essential and non-essential. When the intellect grows, it will not be discussing about essential and non-essential. It will say ephemeral and eternal, temporary and permanent. You follow? Is it okay? Yes. The concept of the concept of frog jump. Okay. The concept of frog jump. Monkey jumping, you understand, no? Correct. That she understands. Aparna doesn't have a problem with monkey jumping concept. She only wants to know the frog jump. Punishment, yes. Yes. See, in the context of, remember last week we just used the word about all people are seeking experiences to prove something. So, when you are gaining knowledge, what is the frog jump first? If you have seen a frog, it will be sitting in one corner. It's not exercising, it's not preparing, it's not doing anything. It is simply sitting. Almost impossible to believe that frog can take a jump. And when it jumps, it doesn't hop from this corner of the room to that corner, it will jump. That's why it's called frog's leap. No, English also they say it's frog's leap. Why? Because it will be sitting as though nothing is happening. So for all practical purposes, it seems to as though nothing is happening. When it jumps only, you understand, oh my God, what a power it has. That sitting is not idle. That sitting is not an idle sitting. It has this tremendous power. Now, spiritual growth is equated to frog's leap. People ask, how do I know that I'm growing? It will be like frog sitting, as though nothing is happening. Understand this. Spiritual growth always happens like frog leap. It doesn't happen like LKG to UKG to first standard to second standard and all. You can't have a weekly review, you can't have a monthly review, and you can never know what is happening. If all that is happening means, if you can figure out things like this means, you have gotten stuck with some experience and you are misleading yourself. So what is spiritual growth? You keep studying, you keep doing your Shravana, Manana, you keep doing your Karma Yoga, and then you look at your life, nothing will be, you cannot see any visible change at all. And if you don't see any visible change, thank God you are on the right. Thank God you are on the right track. The moment you start noticing some changes, I can see, sir. Previously to now and all, I have become a much better person. And those kind of things have come in. Immediately the Upanishad says, go back. Some experiences, you are analyzing some experience of yours and misjudging that you are misinterpreting, misjudging that you are growing. Why? Because spiritual growth doesn't happen like that. It's not like a gradual step-by-step thing. Effort is step by step. Your effort grows gradually, but the recognition of growth doesn't happen gradually at all. It is like the frogs. It like the frogs jump. Why they say that is, as soon as you get into the spiritual path, you want to compare notes with your own past. You want to compare notes with your own past and keep asking yourself, am I? Where am I? Have I grown? Where am I? Have I grown? Sir, I also don't feel like growing. People around me also are also saying that 20 years, 30 years you are going for classes, nothing has. What is the point of all that? Remember, frogs sleep. Remember, frogs sleep. That's how it grows. Because the transformation of the personality and all is not a drishta factor. It's not a recognizable factor. So many avenues for practices will be given. So many indications of what you should do will be given. Like Karma Yoga, various qualities we talk about, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So there are various ways, various methodology for doing spiritual sadhana, tapas will be given. If I am doing all that and if I cross-check what is happening inside of me, you should not be able to see anything. You should not be able to see. Are you okay till now? You can't be the student. You can't set the question paper. You can't write the answer and you can't correct the answer and you can't give certification. No. Correct? No. You will understand what is frogs. Frogs leap. And understood? Correct. This is explained to her very clear. You can't be the person for everything, isn't it? That is why the Puranic stories has a beautiful reference. See, if Vishwamitra has enlightened, he knows that he is enlightened. Why does Vasishta has to certify that? Why do we say Vasishta Vayala Brahma Rishi? We say, why? You don't certify? You don't certify yourself. You don't do all that. You know that I do not. You say that I look, it looks like you feel like you are the same. You feel like you are the same. You feel like you are the same. The Shastra says, the Guru says, keep going, keep going, keep going. You keep going. And the growth happens. How does it happen? The frogs jump. Modern day example is not the frogs jump because we don't get to see frogs at all nowadays. We don't see frogs. We don't see the frog jump. Therefore, chemistry titration. So modern day, they give the example of the titration. You understand the titration example? No experiment, no. 8th class, isn't it? You don't do it at 8th standard, 9th standard, they will do that experiment. Pippat, burette, pippat, yeah. And then you have to open names correct, instrument names 35 years back. And then drop by drop you have to do. And when the teacher comes, we'll ask the teacher, sir, sir. When he will say 75, open it, it will come to 69, and then close it, and then 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. Yeah, that's how we pass the exams. Correct, huh? Prabhu, correct? No. That's how at least I did that. That's because nothing is happening. Till 75th, till 74th drop, you will not see, you will not notice any change. The 75th drop changes the entire thing. But for all practical purposes, change is started from the first drop itself. Change is started from the first drop. It implies what? All this is trying to imply only one thing. What? Patience is required. Patience is required. Are you able to follow? An experienced hunter will be an impatient person. Remember that. An experienced hunter will be impatient because they want to have some experience. They want to have some experience. They say, be patient. Be patient. How long to be patient? We don't know. How long to be patient? We don't know. How long should we take the medication? Depend on the intensity of the disease. No. How long should I take the medication, sir? No. It depends on the intensity of the disease only, the duration of the medications. But for all practical purposes, cure has started. But for you to see, it takes time. But what people do, they get disheartened, they get disillusioned very fast. Why they get disheartened, disillusioned very fast is because they don't see any visible change. Since they don't see any visible change, they get more anxious. They get more anxious, they get more anxious, they get more worried. In that anxiety and worry, they will undo all that they have done is undone. And then they will say, all this is good to talk, but nothing works in reality. Remember that. Spiritual growth is not an experience. You understand that, you will be patient. You will know what to do. Spiritual growth is not an experience. All experiences are bound by time. Correct? All experiences are bound by time. It has a beginning, it will have an end. All experiences. That's why in the initial stages, what we call as the Shiva Loka, Vaikuntha and all that, when we go to the higher levels of growth, the same Vedas dismisses that and says, it is also part of the limited experience only, because any experience is limited by nature, because it is time bound. Are you able to follow? All experiences are bound by time. Meaning, it wasn't there before, it started at some point of time. Anything that started at some point of time will necessarily have to end at some point in time. That which has started at some point of time cannot stay for eternity. Are you able to follow? Therefore, this frog's leap and all that talks about how to be patient. Impatience is, the experienced hunter is an impatient person because they want to have some experience as the proof. The Mandukya says, the fact that you have experienced it means it is unreal, understand it. We take that as the thumb rule. Remember that. All the discussions that we have starts from that point. What is that point? If you say I have experienced something, it is delusion. Because experience comes under the duality category. The experience comes under the temporary category. All experiences. Okay, sir, but experience, mystical experience like God. Suddenly I saw God for 5 seconds and then God disappeared. That which is of the mind will appear and disappear. Again, I repeat. That which is of the mind will appear and disappear. And God is definitely not of the mind. Since God is definitely not of the mind, how can it appear and how can it disappear? You follow? Therefore, Mandukya, that is a standard. Mandukya Upanishad is a standard. That Upanishad says very clearly, if you say, I have experienced, I haven't. If you say, I have a spiritual experience, you are in moha. You are in delusion. Because it cannot come under experience. But all the time we are seeking experience. Frog's jump says, there's nothing is happening. No experience. Same worry is still there. Same anxiety seems to be there. Same agitation seems to be there. Frustration seems to be there. You thought you'll become a better person and you get into the spiritual path. What happens actually? Negativity starts coming more, like the churning of the milky ocean. If you don't understand frog's jump, if you don't understand titration, if you don't understand experience is bound by time, understand this story. What is the story? The Quranic story of churning the milky ocean. They started churning for what? Amrita. And what they got? First thing, see, when you churn for Amrita, you should get Amrita. And what they got? Poison. And not ordinary poison, isn't it? It's not ordinary poison. It is deadly poison. Deadly poison, you know what does it mean? A poison that doesn't have an expiry date at all. At any point of time you touch it, the virium will not be lost. Other poison after a period of time, all the poisons after a period of time will start losing its virium. This is deadly poison, meaning what? In the past, in the present, in the future, the intensity, the deadliness remains the same. Deadly poison it is. What they are asking for? Amrita. And what they ended up getting? That's what happens when you start the spiritual journey earnestly, sincerely. You won't notice yourself as a better person. You will not see yourself as a better person. In fact, in that churning, what will come out? The negativities will come out. So you will feel like, oh my God, I was a better person before. You should feel like that. You will feel, I was a better person before. Upanishad will say, then you are on the right. Then you are on the right track. Even if you take experience as a standard, what it should be like the experience of churning the milky ocean. The deadly poison comes out. Meaning what? Upon self-inquiry, what all was hidden, you become aware of it. That's all. It's not that it is coming newly and all. It was there inside. You were not aware of it. Now that you become aware of it. Now that you become aware of it, it looks like it has come to you. Ram Subramaniam, Purida? It's not that it wasn't there before and all of a sudden it has come. No. It was there all along. Since self-analysis is not done, self-inquiry is not done, Yajnadana tapas and all is not practiced, all this was in hiding. Now when you start doing this Shravana, Manana, Yajnadana tapas and all that, what happens? You become aware of it. What you become aware of? The negativities. Doesn't mean you have become worse. You simply become aware of the intensity of it. Don't worry. Don't give up. Continue. Like the frogs. Like the frogs jump. One day you will just You will just outgrow that. Each and every day of Shravana, each and every day of Manana, each and every Karma Yoga that you do, each and every obligatory action that you do, Yajna Dana Tapas you do, is like the titration. One drop. Neha Vikramanashosti Pratyavayo Avidyate Swalpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Yeah, you can't say better than that. In this, there is no Kramanasha at all, Arjuna. Are able to follow? In this means, in the spiritual path, there is no such thing called Nasham. Wasted. I have done everything, but all went for a nothing worked, sir. It won't happen. It is against Dharma. Neha Vikramanashosti Pratyavayo Navidyate. Bhagavad Gita. Swalpam Apyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Little bit of this Dharma you practice, Arjuna, you will be protected from great fears. What are you worried about? Because there is no such thing called Krama Nasha at all. To understand that there is no Krama Nasha, you need an intellect. Because it belongs to Adrishta. Are you able to follow now? Huh? Prabhu, are you able to follow? Then, to understand that there is no such thing called Krama Nasha at all, you need an intellect because it belongs to the subject matter of Adrishta. Neha Vikramanashosti Pratyavayo Avidyate. There is no such thing called wasted effort. All the churnings, all the negativities will come. Story conclude only. Yeah, we can't leave the story halfway, isn't it? We have to take it to the Amrita, we have to take. Deadly poison. Who can handle that? Only Shiva can handle that. Only Shiva can do that. Who is Shiva? Shiva is symbolic of tapas. If Vishnu is symbolic of, have you ever heard of Vishnu doing tapas? He will never do tapas. He's always, he's always lying down only. He will create, he will delegate, and he will take massage. Isn't it? Nothing else he will do. He will delegate and he will go back. Boss na Narayana Mari, isn't it? That's why we say Narayana, Narayana. Why? Because boss na Narayana is the original boss. Because he will not do anything. But the neighbor, isn't it? Dress, isn't it? Dress, beauty, this thing. For whom? For the person who doesn't do anything. Shiva is exactly the opposite of it, isn't it? Shiva is exactly the opposite. Tapas. Where is he? The place where we don't want to go at all, he is there, isn't it? What is the one place that we don't want to go at all? Graveyard. Awareness order. Yeah. We all will go one day, but lack of awareness. We won't even know that we are going, isn't it? And Shiva is sitting in that graveyard. Narayana is wearing all wonderful garlands and malas and necklace and all that. What is Shiva wearing? No, Resaji. You know the garland of Lord Shiva? Human skulls. Human skulls. The ashes is all over the body. Human skull. You don't even want to look at him. Yeah, you don't even want to go near him. You don't even want to look at him. Saundari Lahari, Adi Shankara says, oh my God, how is Goddess in love with? See, anybody can be in love with Narayana. Who can you be in love with? Oh my God. Bhagavad Gita Purila, Vedanta Purila, Saundari Lahari is enough. What a hymn it is. What a beautiful. Humanly impossible to write a scripture like that. A human being cannot write a scripture like that. Impossible to write. Saundarya means describing the beauty. In that, he says, in one of the shloka, he says, look at the man that she is in love with. Who's the man that she is in love with? Shiva. Idu on the Puranic story in a connection. When this deadly poison came, the whole world started choking. Whole world means the entire personality started choking. What is happening in microcosm, Puranas describe as though it is happening in macrocosm. Remember that. Whatever is happening inside microcosm, Vedanta tells you directly what is happening in microcosm. What Puranas do, whatever is happening in microcosm, they talk about it as though it is happening in macrocosm because it's easy to understand. Having understood there, what you should do, you should quickly revert back and say it is happening inside the microcosm. So the whole world is choking. The entire world is choking. Everybody is choking, suffering. Nobody knew what to do. Who can save? Shiva saved. Tapas. All the negativities will get burned in front of tapas. Shiva is doing tapas. And they said, please take the poison. How can anybody digest that poison? And he digested it. Digested means what? Nothing happened. Nothing happened to him. So he drank the poison. Yeah. Goddess. She's so beautiful. She's so wonderful. What she did, she strangled that man's neck. Yeah. She strangled that man's neck and ensured that the poison doesn't go inside. Just stays there. That's why it's called Neelakanta. Neelakanta means English translate, isn't it? It doesn't look good at all in English language if you translate. Translate English, how you will translate it? Blue throated. Yeah. Neelakanta. Kantana. Inga solno. Yeah. Madras Bhashila solno na sangu. You know that? Not his entire neck wasn't black and all. Only this portion, the Sangudam. Madras Bhashila solnonna. And there are mattum blue eyes. And she just held it there. Tapas. Shiva is symbolic of tapas. And once that person managed that initial phase of all the negativities, world starts falling at this person's feet. The world starts falling. And how the world starts falling at this person's feet? All the best things started coming one after the other, isn't it? Airavata came, Lakshmi came, Kamadhenu came, the tree came, yeah, the horse came, all the best things came. And the person keeps on saying, no, no, no. Somewhere down the line, somebody will get tempted for something. Somewhere down the line, a person will get, okay, if the person will not get tempted for the horse, he will get tempted for the elephant. If not for the elephant, at least for the tree. If not for the tree, at least for something. And the person has the courage to keep saying, no, 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 no. Finally comes the Amrita. Upanishad uses the word Amrita in the sense of immortality. Atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate amritam. Kenopanishad. The Puranic stories uses the word amritam as in the sense of something that got out. Upanishad uses it in the sense of immortality. And that jump is what we call as the frog's jump. That immortality is what we call as the frog's jump. And how it will go, this is how. So first, what you will be aware of, the awareness of your negativities. Don't identify with that. Don't identify with that. Say, I have nothing to do with it. Disassociate from that. Are you able to follow? If you start identifying with that, it will become stronger. Don't identify with that. Say, negativity, I have nothing to do with negativity. It will come back again. Say, I have nothing to do with it. Refuse to identify with negativities. Be aware of it, but do not identify. What is identification with the negativity means? Oh, why am I like this? When will I change? When will I get rid of this? Why only it is happening to me? Why me alone? Refuse to identify with the negativities. Do not associate. But where do you get the strength from not to associate with it? That's where Manana helps. Because the Shastras has told that pure you are already. The Guru has told that pure you are already. So what do? You do not associate with negativities based on the Shastra Pramana. Because the Shastras have told you, because the teachers have taught, what do you say? I have nothing to do with negativities. Every time it comes, I refuse to identify. I refuse to. Then what happens? Different kind of a problem comes. What is a different kind of a problem? Temptations come. Purusha Sukta. Krishchate Lakshmiischa Patnyau. Purusha Sukta, Vedic prayer it is. What everybody is craving for, what everybody is longing for, what you have been craving for at one point of time, what you have been longing for at one point of time will be there right in front of you. What you will say? What you will say? No. 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 Each and every no that you say is what your growth is all about. How many no's that you can say in life? How many times you can say no and do the thing that ought to be done. Able to follow? This is frog's jump. When you are doing this, nothing will seem to happen. Don't get disheartened. Don't get disillusioned. Amritatvam will come. Okay till now? Amritatvam should not be an experience because it is transcending time. There should not be anybody to report about that experience of God. Remember that. When you remember God, you should die. When you experience God, there will not be anybody to report and come back and say, I experienced. The Guru will say, go back. If you say, I experienced, the Guru says, go back, go back, go back. Go back where? Yajnadana tapas. Go back to Yajnadana tapas. Go back and start there. Because you are still misleading yourself into an experience. Frog leap says it is not. Are you okay till now? All this is the subject matter of Adrishta. To understand this only, you need an intellect. For a powerful intellect which has understood this alone will be able to hold itself in the path right to. Otherwise, there is always a difficulty. Is it okay? there any other clarifications? Huh? Ram Subramaniam, what do you have?
Sir, so I asked this at the beginning of the class. So I think in some of the other questions you have already responded to some parts of this, sir, but still would seek your advice, especially on the second part of my question. So how should we prevent ourselves from hunting for experiences? What should we do? Right. One is, I understand being patient, right?
Yes.
But maybe if I were to ask for more of a practical solution, right?
Yes.
So if you can just shed some light on that, sir.
Correct. First thing, Ram Subramaniam. Experiences is never a pramanam. Experiences are not a pramanam. That should be the thumb rule. You follow? Again, I repeat. Experiences are never a pramanam. That is why of the pramanams, we say pratyaksha, anumana, upamana on one side and shastra on the other side. The moment you start taking experiences as pramanam, what happens? You are not seeing things as it is. You have started to see things in the way that you have started to see what you want to see. You are not seeing it as it is. Again, I repeat, it's not a pramanam. Second is, if you start assessing things through your experience, you are not seeing things as it is. What are the practical ways to do this? That is the question. Okay, sir, frog leap, okay. But practically experience angle is asking. So all the 30 minutes of answer I gave is erased. Clear? So the correct on the story, okay. But say something from this also. Ram Subramaniam. Something we will say for this also. What to do now? Remember to keep, if at all you can't get rid of your experience, keep one experience as the touchstone. Ideally, don't worry about experience, ignore that. If you cannot, keep one experience as the touchstone for everything. And that one experience must be how intense is your gratitude. If at all you want to go by experience, ask yourself only this one question. What is that question? How intense is your gratitude? Are you able to follow?
Yes.
That's all. For all the meaningful things in life comes out of this one emotion called gratitude. Or all the negative things can come in life because of lack of gratitude. So it is gratitude or lack of gratitude. So if at all you want to go by experience, keep one emotion as an experience which involves a lot of tapas. And gratitude involves a lot of tapas. Gratitude will never come naturally. If gratitude can come naturally, we won't have problems at all in life. Gratitude will not come naturally, isn't it? Somebody has done some good thing to you. How many times you can say thank you? How many times can you say? Once? Twice? I thought it's over. If somebody made a bad remark about you, how long you can repeat it? How long can you keep that? How long can you keep the intensity of the hatred? Vis-a-vis, how long are you able to keep the intensity of gratitude? So if at all you want to go by practically, what is the practical thing means it should not take you, it should not mislead you into something. That's what practical means. What is the practical thing that you got to do? Remember the intensity of how intense is your gratitude. Number one. Number two, gratitude to the known sources of help. First is gratitude. Second is gratitude to the known sources. And then you mature enough into saying the known and the unknown. The known and the unknown. Gratitude is one indicator. Are you okay, Ram Subramaniam?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Another indicator. Practical indicator, we will make it more impractical, isn't it? We have to make it more impractical. So first indicator is what? Gratitude. The second indicator is beautiful it is. Humor. You will not know what crying is after that. You will not know what crying is. Second thing. Exactly opposite of that is crying, crying, crying. No, isn't it? You will not know what is. Why? That is Krishna. How to put it? Understand? Krishna. That's why in the movies and all, they make him laugh in the most inappropriate situation. Also, they will make him laugh, isn't it? Everybody will be crying and this man will stand there. Not that kind of a laugh. It means what? Humor is an indicator that you have outgrown your previous state. Humor is an indicator that you have outgrown your previous state, isn't it? Remember that example I always keep giving? Stealing mango when you are a child. From Subramaniam.
No, sir. Haven't heard this from you, sir.
Yeah, okay. He knows, but he wants to repeat the story. When you are a child, you steal mango from the neighbor's garden, isn't it? You steal mangoes. Having grown up, will you think of doing prayaschitta for that? Will you do that? When you and your group of friends meet, how will you see that? How will you see that? Laugh at it, isn't it? The painful moments you laugh, the blissful moments also, isn't it? The painful moments also you outgrow. The pleasurable moments also you look at it from both, you can laugh at it. Second indicator that you are growing is you will be able to laugh. Laughter na eppadi sadha laughter la kediyadhu illaya appadilam kediyadhu illaya belly laughter vairu valikanum siricha how it should be, your stomach should pain, that is belly laughter. Yeah, plastic smile laughter la kediyadhu, isn't it? Air hostess mother eppadi thalaikku mela paathu solluvom illaya, that is not like that, is acting. Yeah, you laugh in such a way that Your stomach is paining, eyes are watering, and you are still yeah. Because you know that no situation in life is worth crying. No situation in life is worth crying. Celebration it is. Every situation that happens is a celebration. But sir, loss, fail ana, business loss ana, if there is a death, Bhagavad Gita says this is a spiritually evolved person, where sukha and dukkha is samam pashyati sarvatra. He sees both as samam. And when you start seeing both as samam, how it will manifest in you? You will not be like a rock. You will not be like a piece of stone. How it will be naturally? Laughter, isn't it? And one thing that is missed in one of the biggest misunderstanding about religion is no religious person is associated with laughter. All religious person are associated with isn't it? You cannot associate a spiritual person with laughter. See, imagine a Jesus Christ laughing. What will happen to Christianity? It cannot, because he has to be permanently. He has to be crying only for us to. Why that? Yeah, he must be really laughing. You follow what I'm saying? One spiritual person comes so refreshingly different, that is Krishna, because one person comes out with laughter all the time, and none of us will want to be in his position. None of us will want to be in a position like Krishna, isn't it? Murder plan, isn't it? He's not even born, but his death is already planned, murdered. Adu yaru? Who? Uncle, maternal uncle. Yeah, Thai Mama. You know Thai Mama, no? You know, the Thai Mama is more affectionate than the father. That's why he is given that. The remnants of the practices is what you see even today in the marriage. The respect will be given to the maternal uncle first. Why? Because that man's affection is, there is something so beautiful in that affection. Maternal. Drama, isn't it? Don't worry about what is happening. And that person is planning to separated from the parents on birth, taken to some other place, separated from them also after a while, comes back, having lost battle so many times, run away from this place and go to the other end of the planet and create one's own kingdom there. Angyadu sandoshama, one after the other. But not a dull moment in that person's life. Why? Because second indicator. First indicator we said is gratitude. Practically, Ram Subramaniam. If at all you want to experience hunt for experience of gratitude, hunt for experience of humor. இப்போ நமக்கு தெரிஞ்ச ஹியூமர்லாம் அடுத்தவன் அடிக்கிறது தான், isn't it? Beat up one fellow and that fellow is moaning and suffering in pain. We sit and not that. That is not. It's not humor. Third experience. Moon indicator. Thumb rule idella. First is gratitude. Second is humor. The third one is, that's what we are studying in Bhagavad Gita. From Vibhuti Yoga to Vishwarupa Darshana. Everything is seen as divine in life. Anything that you encounter, you should see the divine. But sir, இவங்கள்ட்ட எப்படி சார் பார்க்க முடியும்? இந்த பொலிட்டிக்கல் பார்ட்டி கிட்ட எப்படி பார்க்க முடியும்? இந்த மதர் இன் லாட்ட எப்படி பார்க்க முடியும்? இந்த ஃபாதர் இன் லாட்ட எப்படி பார்க்க முடியும்? இந்த fellow who is cheating the banks, how to? Are you able to follow? The third indicator is what? Vishwarupa Darshana. Vishwarupa Darshana means what? You will not see one form. You will see the divine in every form. As a result of which, what happens? Dvesha goes out of you, that's all. Dvesha goes out of you. But what will happen to that person? Upanishad says that's none of your business. That's none of your business. Their karma will be taken care by them. Why are you interfering unnecessarily? Why are you taking it upon your head? Wherever you see a negativity, ask yourself. What you should ask yourself? Am I also doing the same thing? That's all. I am doing correct. If I am not doing, move out. That is seeing divine. Are you able to follow? The third indicator. What is the third? First indicator is gratitude. Gratitude because Rina, indebtedness. How many people are giving? Kuduglana, what will happen? Isn't it? It's provided, no? All the time things are provided. If you don't see it, you will start crying. What? I'm not having anything. Are you able to follow? How ingrateful, how the worst ingratitude la sollakudadu. Ingratitude nale worst dhaan, isn't it? Adala gradations la kediyadhu. There's only one ingratitude thing. What? Onnume illa sir enakku. How can you? There can't be anything more ungrateful than that, because there is the divine that has given. There is a divine that has given everything. All that it is given. It's given. Gratitude. Second, enna sonnom? Humor. Third, Vishwarupa Darshan. Vishwarupa means seeing divine in each and everything. Are you able to follow? Ram Subramaniam. Experience of divine. All these three combined is what we call as divine experience. All these three combined. What are the three things combined? Vishwarupa Darshana, gratitude, humor. When all these three combined in one entity, that person is what we call as a divine person, spiritually evolving person. That person alone you call as spiritually evolving. Opposite of that is what? Opposite of that is what? First thing, ingratitude. Yeah. It's not a king cobra, no. Nothing it will do. First thing is gratitude. And gratitude is what? A non-complaining attitude towards life is gratitude. What is gratitude? A non-complaining attitude. You are so free after that. Opposite of that is what? Constantly complaining. He said toothbrush is enough to make you feel miserable. A toothbrush not being enough to make you feel miserable. Everything will be there. That one thing not being there is enough to make you feel miserable. A complaining attitude towards life is ingratitude. First is, second is humor. Humor because there is nothing worth serious about. There is nothing that is worth serious about. I'm having a serious crisis, sir. We have to handle crisis management. Yeah. For this person, there is no such thing called crisis at all. Why? Tulsidas said it very beautifully. When there is a father to take care, why do I have to worry? Because all crises are handled by the divine anyway. Secondly, if divine is handling everything, there is no such thing called crisis at all after that, because it knows no. So what happens? Humor means what? Nothing is worth. There is nothing is worth crying about. Second. Third thing, no? Vishwarupa Darshana. Vishwarupa Darshana means you start seeing all as expressions of divine. The good is an experience of divine. The bad is an experience of divine. We have seen the gradations, no? Ekarupa, Anekarupa, Vishwarupa, Arupa. That's how it goes. Ekarupa. You start at least seeing God in one place, at least. Isn't it? Let him be locked up in a temple. Still, it is better. Because that awareness that there is that divine is what is important. From that, it becomes Anekarupa. Anekarupa, and all the good things you will see. That's Vibhuti Yoga. All good things and then you move into the so-called Vishwarupa, means you see both. What do you see? Good and bad. Arjuna could not take it. He said, I didn't ask for this. Go back, he says. When we go to chapter 11, we will read it. Yeah. You forgive me for all the mistakes I did in the past. He starts blabbering, looking at that form. Vishwarupa, he starts blabbering. What he blabbers? Oh, I thought you are my friend and I called you Vada, Podala, I called you in the past. Now don't get angry for all that. Forgive me for all that. Epo, Vishwarupa he showed. Come back to gentler form, Chaturbhuja Vishnu form, and then he comes back to the milder form. That is the hallucination form. Vishwarupa is the true form. The Chaturbhuja Vishnu is the hallucinatory form. But people like hallucinations, know what to do. People are comfortable with hallucinatory forms only because tapas, shravana, manana is required to accept the reality. That which comes out of shravana, manana, tapas and all that is what is known as intellect. That which comes out of all this is what we call as the intellect. And that intellect will be able to look at the adrishta part of life. And then the adrishta becomes the standard. Drishta is no more a standard. Ram Subramaniam. Drishta is no more a standard. Adrishta becomes the standard. Adrishta means Shastras. Adrishta means what the Shastra says, what the Guru says, what the Shastra says becomes that's the Adrishta, and that becomes the standard for life. That is what we call as intellect. which is diametrically opposite to all our experiences. Our experiences of life gives exactly the opposite. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha, Shastra says. Our experience is what? Corrupt people are nalla irukkranga. Nyaya dharmalu pesinu irukravanga all those who talks about righteousness and all that are the fellows who looks like suffering and losers, while all the bad people are flourishing, good people are suffering. That is your experience. Shastra says, the Guru says, Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Idila, what you will accept? The pramanam. What is the pramanam? Shastra becomes the manam, and Shastra means it's going to deal with subject which is adrishta by nature. Pratyaksha and all other pramanams deals with drishta. Telescope also deals with drishta. Microscope also deals with drishta only. It's an extension of the eye. That's all. Correct? Kaila thuku mudiyalana crane vechu thukurom avladhaan. Crane is nothing but an extension of your hand only. Correct? So all comes under drishta only. But life is not based on drishta. Life is adrishta. Adrishta means the I don't know will be more. That is adrishta. Remember that. I don't know will be more. I know will be infinitesimal. But that I don't know doesn't make you feel bad. I don't know make you feel inferior. That I don't know gives you such a penetrative vision about life. That is intellect. Are you able to follow? Nikita, I wanted to say about intellect, but I have somehow. Are you able to follow what is intellect now? That I don't know gives you such a deep penetrative vision about life, which you know it, you understand it, and how much ever you try to put it in words, you cannot. You know it, you understand it, and how much ever you try to put it in words, communicate, you cannot. Bhagavad Gita, ya pashyati, sa pashyati. Whoever sees it, sees it. Whoever sees it, sees it. That's it. This vision cannot be transferred. Are you okay? Ram Subramaniam. Practical. Gratitude.
Gratitude, humor, Vishnu.
Correct. Automatically it will come. Even if you have one, the other two, the other two comes automatically.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We'll continue next week.